Welcome back. We're down here in Durant talking girls basketball coach with head coach Tony Newman. Tony, we're going to move on to West Liberty. Friday night, the 7th, we overtime, 60-58. A lot of points scored for both teams. Another good start by you guys.
Yeah, we came out shooting well to begin the game. West Liberty came out boxing one, first two possessions, and we were able to get Paige Compton the ball. She hit her first two shots, and all of a sudden we were up 4-0. They jumped out of that boxing one. Traditionally, when we've seen boxing one, we've had struggles from other girls to shoot. So I think Paige hitting those two right away, they jumped into a 2-3, and then we were able to run our zone offense pretty effectively. Built that halftime lead up, 10 points almost. So,
what's the strategy of a boxing one? I mean, what's the purpose of that?
They were trying to shut down Sid. Sid had 30 points a couple weeks ago against Tipton, and I think in years past we've been a one-girl show where you stop the one and you take your chances with the rest. I don't think teams will be able to do that with us this year. We have too many options for that to happen, and Paige hitting those two buckets kind of showed that, hey, you can try to take away our one player, but we'll try to get you with our others.
13-10 after the first quarter, season high to this point, points scored in the first quarter, back-to-back games, good first quarters.
Right, we started well 2 nights in a row, 2 games in a row anyway. Still gave up a little too many points, but we'd like to, but we continued that roll into the second quarter. We made some adjustments against their 2-3. We were able to get some pretty wide open looks to go in. And we were up 10 at half and feeling pretty good about ourselves.
2-3 zone, is that going to be their calling card on defense this year, do you think?
I don't think so. Fourth quarter, they switched to a 1-3-1 with Feldman on top, and that gave us a lot of fits. And I talked to their coach after the game. He said they had just installed that the night before. With Feldman's length up top, that 1-3-1, I think could give teams a little bit more problems. It puts a little more pressure on the perimeter and forces teams to some little bit longer passes. And they've got some decent speed that they were able to get some steals off us. We were a little careless, and they stepped hard to the ball, and that 1-3-1 for them at the end really brought it back into the game.
What's the message at halftime with a 10-point lead? Was it having to calm the girls down at that point, or was it?
No, we knew that it wasn't like it was a 40-point lead. It was just 10 points. We knew they'd have a good shot to battle back. Like I said, for the most part, we kept Feldman in check the first half. And halftime, we talked about making that offensive adjustment a little bit more effective and really trying to keep her out of the game still. And we were able to do that until the fourth quarter, when she kind of went off. So.
You guys, they outscored you 12-8 in the third quarter, so still holding a 6-point lead going in the fourth.
Correct.
That last quarter, they outscored you 21-15 to make up that 6 points.
We had our worst free throw shooting game of the year. I think we were 5-12 from the line. The fourth quarter, we could not make them. We would miss the front end of a 1-on-1, or we'd go 1 of 2. We had some foul trouble. Ashlyn Kessler fouled out, actually, so we're a little shorthanded there. But we just could not make enough free throws to win. I mean, ended up it was their ball with 4 seconds to go. We were up 3, so we talked about in that timeout, because they called the timeout, hey, no threes, deny. So we really denied on the inbounds, and Haley Simon got the ball for them from about 27, 28 feet. We're a little more worried about Marissa Kelly, so we're denying her. She really has no outlets. We weren't up tight enough. She shot it. I was sitting right in the line between her and the hoop, and as soon as we released it, you just knew it was in. So she hit a tremendous shot to force overtime. And then in overtime, we already had Kessler fouled out, and Ashley Williams actually went down with an ankle injury. So that was the end of regulation, right? So 2 of our top 6 girls are sitting on the bench, 1 fouled out, 1 injured. I mean, it was kind of flashbacks of where we've been a few years ago sitting there. But Jacqueline Rouse came in, and for Ashley, played solid defense, ended up making a huge basket in overtime. It was kind of a botched play. Emma Ingsler hit a nice pass to Jacqueline under the basket, put it up and in. I mean, a lot of sophomores might get a little nervous and miss it when you're that wide open, but she had a solid effort for us.
Experience the key to the final quarter.
You could kind of tell a little bit of redemption from Tuesday night. I mean, we were really disheartened when they hit that 3 to go regulation. And we got down 4 right away in overtime. Sid picked up her 4th foul, so she sat. Well, this was 9 seconds into overtime. We sat her for a little bit.
Situation,
right.
2 girls down and sitting with 4 fouls.
Right. But, we were able to give her a little bit of rest. We didn't lose the lead, or we didn't get that far behind. We were only down 4. We got her back in, and she finished well. I mean, she hit a big 3 that ended up giving us the win, and then their last shot bounced off the rim, and Janie pulled down a big rebound to seal it. So, 2 girls that were at the free throw line in the 4th quarter missed a couple shots. I think Janie missed 1, and Sid was 1 of 4 from the line. For Sid to hit that big 3 and Janie to pull down the big rebound, I think they both. It's pretty redeeming to end the game.
What does this do? What was the message after the game?
You know what? It's West Liberty.
Now you have to call them.
Right. West Liberty, I mean, that's what. We had a lot of negatives, but we had a lot of positives. Sid had 30 points again, which is a big positive. Janie had 10 again, which is almost right on her average. And then Paige, I think, had 11 for us. But our biggest thing was our rebounding. We don't have the stats all the way down, but we out-rebounded them, and we had just a tremendous night on the boards. So we had over 20 rebounds. Now, we didn't get but 1 or 2 putbacks, but still 20 offensive rebounds is giving us a lot of looks at the hoop. We scored 60. Yeah, it was an overtime, but we're getting the points on the board. I mean, we had 50 in regulation. We're coming. And West Liberty's, I mean, they're not a low-level team anymore. They're not going to challenge the bottom. They're going to challenge for that top half finish.
Well, 3 of their starters are seniors who have been around: Feldman, Marissa Kelly, Haley Simon. Not ironically, but they're their top leading scorers.
Right.
Feldman had 30, Kelly had 8, Simon had 9. Feldman had 13 rebounds.
And
so you kind of expect that, though.
Right.
That's her. I mean, she's going to get her points and rebounds no matter what you do.
Before the game, we talked about, we put Sid on her to start, and it was kind of a gamble, but I told Sydney, I don't care if you get 0 rebounds as long as she gets 0 rebounds. And we had those mental breakdowns because we're not used to that. Whoever was guarding Feldman, we wanted to box out and make sure she didn't get it. You may not get it, but we can't let her get it. Well, she slowly got there. I mean, she's been pulling down 20 rebounds some games. So.
Well, she's also a multiple-year starter too,
right.
So she knows where to be positioned.
She has great ball sense.
Right. So they also had 2 other girls with 5 or more rebounds. Simon had 5, and Molly Kelly, a sophomore, had 6. So it wasn't just a Feldman show on the rebounds.
Right.
But the obvious game plan is Feldman.
Right. I mean, and we're going to try to neutralize her as much as we could. And we did for the most part.
Emma had 3 points. Jacqueline had 2. Ashley Williams had 4. Lindsay Kelting back.
Yes, she didn't play Tuesday night because of an ankle injury in practice. Kind of eased her in. Ankle kind of started stiffening up on her, so her playing time was a little more limited than we'd like. Just defensively, she just couldn't do what she's used to doing.
Well, it'll add.
Right.
So,
I think our biggest thing was our shooting. We made 9 threes, which we kind of talked about after the game.
That's school record?
I don't know if that's a school record or not. Because I know my first year we had a girl hit 5 and a girl hit 4 in the same game, I think, or 3. So
that's right, Courtney and
yeah. So it'd be close. The way we're shooting the ball now from the perimeter, I mean, the word's going to be out. Teams are eventually going to stop letting us shoot. So we'll have to prepare for that. But it's been going in. I told the girls we can't rely on it, but it's just 2 or 3 big games now that it's definitely done nothing but help. The way they have to defend us now.
Well, that's always been the thing with you guys. It seems like if you just had a 3-point shooter, if you just had 1, if you just had a time-away 3, if you just had fill in the blank, and now to have that option to make teams prepare, to make them think and change what they're going to do defensively has to be smile to you a little bit.
Yeah, it gives us a little bit of an edge. In the past, we've had 1 3-point shooter, and that's been our leading scorer, so they could go box and 1, and that's all the other teams really needed to do. But Paige hit another 3. Janie hit, I think, 3 more threes. And freshman, she's hit like 10 or 11 threes already through 4 games. So she's a nice asset for us to have.
Now they came into the game 4-3. They had a lot of games under their belt. They had non-conference wins at Louisa Muscatine, and home wins against Winfield, Mount Union, and Lisbon. They beat Tipton the previous Tuesday before you guys. So, I mean, they've had some success this year.
Yeah, they've been in a lot of close losses too.
Preston's
a really good team. I think that was a 1 or 2 point game.
And Regina was even close.
Right.
It was an 11-point game.
So they've been playing well, and I think those seniors have been around for 4 years. They know that this is their chance to make some waves. And I think they're gonna, second half of this season here, if they catch fire, they're gonna be a hard team to defend.
Now you guys set 3-2, stop 2-game losing streak real quick. Not that you're
right.
Busy week, 3-game week.
Tomorrow night we're home against Washington. That'll be a tough game for us. And now I think we have a little more chance of winning this game than we had in years past, just kind of who we are and who they are. They've graduated a lot of their players that we've seen the last couple of years. They're a little bit smaller than they've been, so that'll help us out, but it's still going to be a tough game. Then Friday we have to travel down to Mid-Prairie, who I think they're going to be hungry. They dropped a game Friday night to Regina. I didn't really think they'd drop, so they're going to be really pushing hard before winter break to get back in the win column, especially conference game.
I was going to say, because they lost to West Branch too, so they already have 2 conference losses, and their goals obviously are contend for that title. You're going to probably be in a dogfight.
Right, and it's always a struggle for us to go down there and play. So
I think a lot of teams struggle when they go down there. I think it's just too much yellow.
I don't know. We got to find a way to play really well on Friday night. And then Saturday we're home against Bellevue, who they started the season ranked, but they have an injury, so they've not been playing as well as they would have liked. But that'd still be a tough game because they're playing better basketball every day.
Another chance to test your post defense. Kelsey Ernst is returning All-Stater.
Yeah, she's really hurt us the last 2 years, so we're going to have to focus on that. And it'll be tough because it's not a lot of preparation time. We have 3 games this week, and we have concerts going on Monday and Wednesday, so the little bit of practice time we get is going to be focused, and we have to be efficient to have a successful week.
We're another weekend of the conference season, and season in general. Has anything stuck out here this past week, conference or non-conference that you've seen?
I think Regina's really kind of been the conference surprise this year. I'm not saying they thought they'd be bad, but that game Friday night, beating Mid-Prairie the way they did, I mean, I know the score ended up close, but they were up big for most of the game. I thought this would be the year Mid-Prairie would make that league to be the top 2. I think Mid-Prairie West Branch still probably the 2 best teams in conference, and Regina's a close 3rd, but Regina's playing well. They're making names. They're going to make another push they have the experience going for them, so maybe that's something. Sometimes girls get caught up in the front of the jersey, and Regina has all the experience and history to win conference again, so it's a big surprise.
No, they're scoring about 54 points a game, and to have that losing what they lost, that's pretty impressive.
Right, and that's kind of what the surprise was. I didn't think they'd put up the numbers they've put up. So
West Branch is leading the conference in scoring 60 points. That's an average. That's pretty good.
Right, and that's kind of what I thought. They're tall and athletic and fast, and they've got a lot of girls that have been playing varsity for 4 years now. So Trimble's a 3-time first-team all-conference player, so they've got quite a bit of experience on their own. So I think they're kind of riding the wave of the volleyball success they've had. They've got a lot of girls that do both, and they're going to be tough team for a lot of people to match up with.
Tipton, they have a road week at Mid-Prairie and Regina. They're a hungry team too. They're not used to being where they're at right now.
Right, and they've got a tough week, especially with Mid-Prairie tomorrow night. That Mid-Prairie, I think, has back-to-back conference losses. So
this is a big week for you guys in Mid-Prairie and Tipton. So it'll be interesting to see this week time this week.
A lot of conference implications depending on how the games go. So like anything else, you've got to be ready to go every night in this conference.
Well, we'll catch up next week. We'll have 3 games to talk about, so that'll be exciting. And look ahead to the final games before Christmas break. Just as a program note, next week's show will be the last one before Christmas break. So look forward to that. So for Durant head coach Tony Newman, my name's Ryan Stonebreaker, and we'll catch up next week. Until that time, we'll see you at the game.